One of the biggest mistakes many gardeners make is thinking compost will break down the same no matter where the bin is placed. Some tuck it behind a shed, others drop it in the far corner of the yard, and some let it bake in the hottest spot they can find. But here's the truth. Where you set that bin determines not just how fast the pile breaks down, but also the quality of the humus you'll get. Choosing shade or sun isn't just a matter of convenience. It's about controlling the environment for billions of microbes, worms and fungi that do the real work inside your pile. Sunlight warms a compost bin, and that warmth can be useful. A pile in direct sun can heat up quickly, which encourages thermophilic bacteria. These are the high heat workers that tear through organic matter and kill many pathogens and weed seeds along the way. If your goal is speed and you're feeding your bin plenty of high nitrogen materials like fresh grass clippings, coffee grounds or kitchen scraps, the sun gives you an advantage. But the risk with sun is moisture loss. A bin in full exposure can dry out faster than microbes can keep up with, especially in hot or windy climates. Composting organisms need consistent moisture. Ideally, the material inside should feel like a wrung-out sponge. If your bin in the sun dries out, decomposition stalls, materials go leathery, and you end up with a pile of half-rotted scraps instead of finished compost. That's why anyone choosing sun must be prepared to water the pile regularly, sometimes every few days in summer, to keep things moving. Now let's turn to shade. A bin set under a tree or on the north side of a fence stays cooler and, more importantly, retains moisture. This is critical in regions with scorching summers or for gardeners who don't want to babysit their compost every few days. Shade bins don't heat up as intensely, which means they won't burn through materials as quickly as sun-exposed bins. But what they do offer is reliability. The breakdown in shade is slower, but, a bit steadier, allowing mesophilic microbes and fungi to thrive without constant moisture adjustments. Worms are also far more likely to move in and help the process if the bin isn't scorching hot. For those who are more interested in quality, crumbly humus rich with microbial diversity rather than speed, shade gives a better long-term result. The right answer isn't always shade or always sun. It really depends on your climate and how much effort you want to put in. In cool, damp regions, where bins can stay soggy and sluggish, putting the compost in more sun can prevent waterlogging and speed things along. In hot, dry regions, shade is almost always the better choice unless you're willing to add water constantly. Think about your lifestyle too. If you want to feed your compost with kitchen scraps but don't have the time to monitor it every other day, a shaded spot is forgiving. But if you're an active composter with plenty of green material on hand and you want rapid turnaround, placing the bin in partial or full sun might serve you better. There's also a middle ground, Many experienced gardeners choose partial sun or filtered shade, like, say, beneath a deciduous tree. In spring and summer, the leaves provide shade and keep moisture stable, while in fall and winter, the bare branches let in more sunlight to warm the pile. Others will position the bin where it gets morning sun, but afternoon shade, striking a balance between heat and moisture. Practical steps can help no matter which you choose. If your bin is in the sun, check moisture at least twice a week and add water with a hose or watering can if it feels too dry. If it's in the shade and seems too wet or slow, turn it more frequently to let in oxygen and add more dry carbon materials like shredded cardboard, straw or leaves to balance it out. Ratios matter. For every bucket of wet kitchen scraps, aim for about 2 buckets of dry carbon in shady bins to prevent sogginess. In the end, composting is about creating the right conditions for microbes and worms. Sun speeds things up but demands vigilance with watering. Shade slows things down but produces richer, more stable compost with less maintenance. The smartest gardeners don't treat it as a rigid rule, but as an adaptable choice based on climate available materials and the time they can dedicate. So, before you drop your bin just anywhere, think about how sun and shade will affect not only decomposition speed, but also the living community inside your pile. Place it with purpose, manage accordingly, and you'll get black, sweet-smelling compost every season without the frustration of stalled or dried-out piles. If this breakdown on compost bin placement helped you understand why location matters, share this guide with fellow gardeners so they can avoid common mistakes. Don't forget to subscribe to Soil Doctor for more proven, practical tips that help you turn even the toughest soil into living, fertile ground.